This is an overview of the gem matching assignment, and this assignment is about linked lists essentially, and you'll be implementing a two-player game in which opponents try and score points by arranging gems in a row, and how they arrange those gets some different points. So why don't I let me run let me run my solution here, and I can show you how you play it. Okay, there are three classes involved in this assignment: gem, gem game, and gem list. Your job is to implement gem and gem list. I've implemented the game here, so here's the class for the game. So it's just kind of various user interface kind of stuff to take care of the pointing and the clicking and things like that. And your job is to implement the linked list and so on. Okay, and here's how the game is played. There are two players. Okay, you're just gonna, the one person controlling the mouse basically plays for both players. Okay, so if you want to play with somebody, you got to alternate using the mouse. The blue circle here indicates that player one is the first to go, and this is their move. They get to place this gem wherever they want, and the gem is a yellow one, and it's worth 25 points. Okay, and normally what you do is when you want to give the gem to yourself, because that gave me 25 points. Okay, now it's player's turn, and so player 2 is going to give themselves 30 points by keeping that gem. Alright, I've got a green gem, 35, I'll just put it right up here, and then this guy got a green 5. Okay, so it looks pretty simple so far, but here's the one of the strategies here is you get points for runs of the same color. Okay, this is currently worth 60 because it's 25 plus 35, but if I add the 30 before the 25 or after the 35, I've created a run of 2 yellows. Okay, and the sum there is 55, but you get a double on that. Okay, so that's 55 times 2, 110, plus the 35 is 145. Okay, so there's a score multiplier for runs of the same color. Alright, and this is why sometimes, you think, well, you always want to give the gem to yourself, and that's usually true. Okay, in all these cases, I'd probably keep the gem to myself. Okay, if I'm player 1 here, I'm going to extend my yellow run. Okay, and I'll extend my blue run down here. Okay, but here player 2, player 2 will send her yellow run. Okay, and I'm getting a lot of points here as player 1. Okay, because I get these 4 things added together times by 4, and so this person could add this to their green run, but I could also use it to break up that run, which reduced my score. Okay, and that's the basic strategy of the game. And I'll just click randomly here, and these guys both keep adding. Okay, and you can add anywhere in the list. Okay, you can add at the very first position or the very last position or anywhere in between, and that's essentially adding this gem object somewhere in the linked list, and the game continues until somebody gets the 16 gems. So essentially it gets across the screen, and at that point whoever has the most points is the winner. That's how the game is played. Let's have a look at the assignment page, see if there's anything interesting to say. Okay, it explains in detail exactly the scoring rules that I just explained, and you've got the images for the different kinds of gems in there. And gem game is completely finished, so you shouldn't have to change that. If you have to change that, that suggests you've probably done something wrong in your other classes. Your job is to implement gem.java and gemlist.java. Alright, and there are certain realities about gems. They can be green, blue, or orange. Okay, and there's an enumerated type in that class, okay, that you can use and probably should use. That's this gem type enumeration. Gems have certain point totals. Okay, they can only be these discrete values. Alright, and I've provided test mains so you can compare your test mains, and this is what this run did, and this is just a random collection of 16 gems. So every time you run it, you're going to get a different collection down here. Okay. Gem list is responsible for storing. It's a list abstract data type with a linked list data structure. Okay, and it has its recursive data structure node, which holds a gem object and a pointer to the next guy in the list. And your job is to implement these methods that draw things, create a string representation of the list, and then the kind of crux is inserting something into the linked list. All right, and here's a example of a complicated scoring thing, so you can check that, make sure you're scoring things properly. Yeah, so the insert, and actually I would say, I take that back, this is probably the crux is score. Okay, insert before shouldn't be too difficult, but score has to figure out all these things to do the scoring. Okay, and you can check the question files here, and you'll notice whenever you have one of these inner classes, you're going to get these extra class files when you compile. So if you see those, that's what's going on. Okay, and here are some ideas for extra credit.